If you're new here, welcome. I'm Tangi, the Feel Good Expert. You're about to watch a full lesson from my signature course, Think Like a Reader, where I teach human design enthusiasts how to think like a professional chart reader and apply human design with confidence. I created this curriculum after nearly a decade of reading charts and teaching students, specifically to address where people tend to get stuck when learning how to interpret this complex system. It was originally developed as a paid program, and I am now releasing it publicly, lesson by lesson, for free here on YouTube. If you are following along with the course, make sure you subscribe so you are notified as each weekly lesson drops. And now let's get into today's lesson. Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to talk about the functions of the 9 energy centers. So in our last lesson, we covered each of the themes as well as the biological components of each energy center, and I touched a little bit on the functions. And in this lesson, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the functions of each energy center. But it will be a pretty quick lesson since we already have touched on the functions of each energy center in the last lesson. So if you see here, we have 1 manifestation center in human design, 2 pressure centers, 3 awareness centers, 4 motors, and 1 identity. Where you see that there are 2 colors, there is a little bit of overlap in functions of energy centers. Some energy centers do have more than 1 function, and we're going to go over each one in detail. So the 2 pressure centers in human design are located at the very top of the body graph and the very bottom. That is the crown and the root center. These pressure centers move energy through the awareness centers, okay, that's those 3 outside triangles, for refinement before moving to the throat for manifestation. The 2 pressure centers represent the pressure to know in the crown and the pressure to do or to move forward in the root. These are the 3 awareness centers. We have the spleen, the ajna, and the solar plexus. The spleen is going to be representative of the physical body and survival awareness or instinctive awareness. Next, the ajna is going to be representative of the mind or cognitive awareness. And lastly, we have the solar plexus center, the spirit or social or emotional awareness. These centers either create the awareness of when they are defined or colored in a chart, or absorb and amplify the awareness of, when they're undefined in a chart, fear, perspectives, and emotions. So fear, perspectives, and emotions, respectively. Quick note before we continue, if you are watching this and realizing you want to go deeper or move faster, this entire course is already available inside my Chart Readers Hub, along with live calls, past masterclass replays, and an active reader community. You'll find the link in the description below. There are 4 motor centers in human design. The motor centers are the powerhouses of the body graph. They provide the energy resources to actually move the physical body. So the 4 motors are the ego, the sacral, the solar plexus, and the root. The ego has the energy to motivate. It creates willpower. The sacral has the energy to create or generate, produce, or reproduce. The solar plexus is the energy to feel deeply. I also call it the motorized energy for depth and thoroughness. And lastly, we have the root, which creates the energy and the pressure to move things forward and create momentum in a certain direction. Next, we have the identity center, the G center. It establishes our identity as a direction. So if you remember from the last lesson, the G center is the energy of love, direction, identity, and purpose. We also refer to it as the magnetic monopole because it magnetizes our purpose towards us and keeps us on track. There's 1 manifestation center in human design, and that is the throat center. The throat creates manifestation via expression, vibration, and action. All of the energy from the other 8 centers is moved toward the throat. When energy reaches the throat, it vibrates into physical manifestation. That is why it's both a center of expression and manifestation. So I'm sure you're wondering, well, how does this work? How does the energy move if I have some centers defined and some undefined? The thing to remember here is you experience it all. You experience it either consistently or inconsistently, but you still are having the experience of all 9 energy centers in your physical body. So it is your strategy and authority that gives you the information that you need to move forward in life, to make aligned decisions, and to manage your energy. What needs to manifest will manifest naturally through environments, through relationships, and through transits. whether your throat is defined or undefined, and the same for all of the other 8 centers. The pressure will come and go if your pressure centers are defined. The pressure will be consistent, undefined, sorry, and the pressure will be consistent if they are defined. You'll absorb and amplify the pressure from outside of you if you have these undefined centers. So the thing to remember here is to always refer back to your own strategy and authority for the way that energy is meant naturally to move through your body and to keep you out of these not self themes of believing that you are supposed to be always on in all 9 centers. That isn't true for you. So strategy and authority will keep you aligned with your definition, as we call it, what's colored in your chart, and it will attract naturally what is undefined, and you'll be surprised by what manifests into your experience. So in the next lesson, I'm going to do a few examples from some of the current learners in this course. And I'll just talk to each of the energy centers and how that might express through their lived experience and through their energy in the way that I would structure a reading speaking only on energy centers. So I think that that will give a lot of grounding and knowledge to put together what we've learned in the last 2 lessons on energy centers. So thank you so much for being here. And again, if you have any questions or comments, just drop them below.
On the screen, you'll see the lessons I recommend watching next based on your learning path. If something in this lesson shifted the way you're thinking, I'd love to hear what stood out to you most. You can share that in the comments. Liking the video and subscribing helps this course continue reaching the people it's meant for, and the questions subscribers ask here often shape what I teach next. Lastly, if you want to study this work inside a live reader community, you'll find Chart Readers Hub is linked in the description.